My name is Ryan Townsend, and my presentation is on the gamification in English arts. My research question for this project is, how can gamification be leveraged in a secondary ELA classroom to develop essay writing skills and reduce anxiety around such projects? For starters, let's clarify what I mean by gamification. The definition of gamification is the application of typical elements of game playing, such as point scoring, competition with others, and rules of play, and applying it to other areas of activity. There are multiple different forms, such as cycles of learning, cycles of expertise, group work, etc. I will be specifically exploring learning cycles found within both education and gaming. You might be asking yourself, why gaming? To answer your question, one might understand the influence of gaming as a media upon our students today. In 2019, the movie industry made around $11.3 billion in revenue. That same year, the gaming industry made around $138 billion in revenue. 61% of these people who play video games are under the age of 35, with 40% of that being between the ages of 18 and 35. In 2019, around 50 to 60% of that population is male, while 40 to 50% is female. Whether or not our students are gamers, gaming as a media is constantly vying for our students' attention, and likely already has it. People now statistically look to video games for entertainment more than the movie industry. As educators, it is imperative that we understand the power and influence in gaming, most importantly because, much to the surprise of some, the learning loops and processes found within video games almost perfectly mirror those found within education and ELA. For example, the learning process in gaming is as follows. The player recognizes and sees the boss, plans how to defeat the boss, and attempts their plan and then reflects on whether or not that plan achieved their goal. If they fail, they will attempt a new strategy. This is true from Mario to World of Warcraft. This is incredibly similar to the process of drafting within ELA. Students recognize their prompt, outline their essay, and write their essay and reflect and either draft or submit um, their final project. If the essay is going nowhere, the student will likely need to reevaluate their prompt/strategy. The difference here is that students see the fun in strategizing on how to defeat a boss, but often will see writing an essay as work. The goal then should be, how do we mirror the progress players find in gaming? For writing an essay, it is common to break apart the essay into multiple smaller assignments, so let's go with that. If we use technology such as Google Classroom to grant grades and rewards for progress instead of only for final completion, students can gain the emotional feedback of overcoming individual obstacles. To put it simply, break larger projects into smaller pieces, reward student accomplishment with breaks or physical rewards, allow students to visually see their progress, and then allow eager students to go at a faster pace if desired, so that with the reward being more time for them to draft and perfect their writing. Technologies of this, while this is more a concept than a specific technology, Kahoot is a great example of gamification of education and can be used for any discipline. It offers an immediate reward response that students can benefit from studying, applying strategies, and speed. The more they practice and prepare, the more success they can achieve. However, this is only the ground floor. Two larger examples of this are what I have discovered. There's a game on the gaming library software called Steam. The game itself is called Walden, a game on Steam. The classroom once used this as an explorative approach to understanding the Henry David Thoreau's classic adventure Walden. In my experience, when I was in my undergrad while taking my German class, I took part in a study to play the massive multiplayer online game Guild Wars 2 while it was translated into the German language as a form of immersion therapy to learning the language. From this whole experience, the most important thing I learned was that the gamification is not as foreign a concept as it might initially seem. It has seen immense growth in the past decade and will only continue to increase in common usage. With that being said, I also discovered that if we can move beyond the idea of gamification as only using items like Kahoot and embrace instead the learning patterns found within gaming and their similarities to education, I think it opens up a lot more avenues for teaching specifically and non-specifically, teaching all disciplines, but also specifically teaching ELA. Thank you. If you have any more questions, I'd love to try to answer them. Have a good day.